Hello everyone and welcome to this module where we'll be covering using artificial intelligence to prepare professional business proposals. Our main focus in today's lecture will be how to make this proposal in the least amount of time and in a way which can have maximum impact on your client. So imagine a scenario where you had a meeting with your client and your discussion included several points, right? And your client asks you after the meeting, okay, fine, share me the quotation or share me the proposal. And now your task as a sales professional is to go to your desk and draft this proposal. This is a very common request uh, by many of the clients, and in the process of the sales cycle, preparing proposal is very important. Now, in reality, what happens is that whenever we have an interaction with a client, the discussion usually touches on many points. Of course, you have a standard pitch which is ready in your mind, and you want to stay on track with your pitch as far as possible. But usually, what happens is that the conversation goes astray, and you tend to discuss a lot of different points with the client. Now, many points in this transaction might might be different for every single client, and they can be custom, which are not included in your standard proposal. Let's say the client comes up with a set of 3 or 4 different requirements which you haven't really thought about, and it is not easy to draft a modified proposal in whatever time you have, right? Because maybe your task in a day is to meet 5 or 6 clients, and along with this you also have to sit down and make these business proposals and send them across to your client from your email address. Now you're trying to juggle both these things at the same time. Some conversation has happened with the client, and only you know what you have spoken with this person, and you want to make sure that all these details are included very nicely in your proposal. So, what is our final goal? We want to make a proposal which is custom for our client. The proposal should look professional. The proposal should include all the points which were discussed in the meeting, and you want to do it in as less time as possible. You cannot go to your manager every single time saying that these are the changes the client has requested, please do these changes and I will share it with the client. No. What will be more effective is that if you have the capability to be able to draft a very effective proposal in a way which satisfies all the requirements, this will make you a very productive and efficient asset for your company. And we are going to achieve this by leveraging the power of AI. As I am going through this presentation, keep in mind that your company might have a standard template for a proposal, or maybe they don't have a standard template. If you are a company that is just starting out and you are wondering what kind of proposals do people usually write, what is the format, what all points should be included. So I am going to cover all these details also in this particular lecture. So make sure first of all that you have some kind of problem statement in your mind which is relevant to your company. Make sure you keep all these points in mind which you usually interact with your client about. And I am going to take a very specific example which is slightly inspired from my own story, my own interactions with a lot of clients, and the experiences that I have had with them, and what are the kind of processes that I have followed to deal with these experiences and to include them in the proposal. Many times it has happened that the client has asked to share the proposal in the evening when I had the meeting in the morning. Sometimes I deliberately send the proposal late just to make it appear that we have worked a lot, and sometimes we do work a lot, but sometimes it's a strategy to delay the proposal. So there are different scenarios, and you can find the best way of sending the proposal depending on your scenario. So I'm going to take a very specific example which is related to the edtech domain. I'm pretty sure by now you must have seen that as the common trend among all the examples that I take. But the objective is for you to learn from all of these examples and then to be able to apply it to your specific use cases. So let's begin. We are going to take a very specific example, and the name of my organization for this example is Excel AI Education Private Limited. This is a fictional name, it doesn't really exist. The brief description of my organization is that Excel AI Education was founded by 3 alumni from IIT Madras. They completed their PhDs from MIT and Purdue in the US. Post their PhDs, they came back to India with a mission to equip students, teachers, and working professionals with the usage of AI to transform their lives. What does your company do? Excel AI offers AI trainings, courses, research assistance, and placement support to schools, colleges, and industries. So you can see that the clients for Excel AI are going to be institutes, and the people in the sales team would be interacting with maybe the principal of this institute, maybe the director, someone from the management body, maybe a trustee, etc. What is the value proposition? Excel AI Education delivers the best quality courses offered by leading AI experts in the world, and the style of teaching is in-depth and comprehensive without any fluff. So that is the value proposition which my particular company is adding for my clients. Before you go ahead and write the proposal, make sure you have these 3 points listed down: the description of your organization, what does your company do, and the value proposition of your company. This is very important because we want these details to be included directly in our proposal. Now after that, you have a standard description of the offerings. Now this is something which is common before my sales team goes for any pitching, or my team goes for any pitching, and this is something which they go out with. So this is the standard offerings that we have for the Excel AI Education company, and then later on we are going to see what are the custom requirements from the client and how we can incorporate them as well. So the first offering is a faculty development and a training program, where we'll be offering an AI training conducted in the institution by our experts. The focus will be to develop the AI and ML skills of the faculty. The second would be the research guidance for students. Here we'll be working with 5 student groups on cutting edge research problems in emerging AI fields, and again the goal will be to publish in top tier journals. The third would be guest lectures from industry AI experts, where we'll be conducting 6 lectures with prominent AI experts. Then we have value added courses which will be offered in an online mode, and they'll cover the foundational as well as the advanced AI concepts, and finally we'll offer the internships for the best performing students. So whenever a sales professional goes to interact with the client, they touch upon these aspects and they discuss about it with the client. But it is very typical that usually when you discuss, a lot of other things emerge. The client has some priority by themselves. They are looking at the picture from their own experiences, their own mindset, their own perspective, and you need to listen to that, and you need to take those things also into account when you are preparing or drafting a proposal. Now we are going to take a very specific scenario in which I am going to list down some customizations which are requested by my client. Of course, these can be different depending on the kind of interaction that you have. But the objective of this example is to provide you with some specific examples so that you really get an idea of how to include these customizations when you are drafting the proposal. So that is the main goal, to give you an example through which you can really learn how to integrate this knowledge. Okay, so these are the customizations which have been requested by the client. The first is, I want the proposal to have different pricing for online, offline and hybrid mode of training. So this is typical, and let's say the sales professional has not discussed it in the meeting, and then this is something which has come up where the client says that, okay, fine, you have mentioned only for online, but I want to do it offline as well, and I want all these aspects to be done in a hybrid mode as well, but I want to see the different prices and then I want to compare it with each other. The second customization is I want the proposal to be divided into two sections. One is the institute level pricing, which my management will pay, and one is the student level pricing, which the individual students of my institution will pay. The third customization is that, okay, fine, you will be selecting the best performing students, but I want the internships to be given to more students. I don't want it to be just a select few. And the last one is, why are you charging separately for the research guidance? Can it be included directly in the combined proposal? So you can see that all these different points have made the conversation a bit more, I would say, nuanced, a bit more detailed, right? It's like you go with a certain set of, let's say you have let's say you have water filled in a jar, and then there are ripples created in the water because of these conversations that you're having with your client. So this is always the case. So you have to make sure that you hear what the client is saying first of all, and you remember it, or you write it down on a piece of paper as soon as the meeting is over. Now, what is my goal? Based on this information, I want to first of all prepare a very comprehensive proposal for the client, and I want to make this proposal very professional looking, right? I want to make it so that all these customizations are readily included, and I want the look to be very nice. It should appear that my company is very professional, my company knows its stuff, my company knows what we are doing, and this is even true if you are just starting out. You need to make sure the proposal looks very good. I remember in our initial days we used to craft proposals. We did not place a lot of importance, right? We used to craft proposals which did not look very professional, and this is something I have learned over time, that every single piece in this entire puzzle is going to make an impact on your client. Now, step number one, as is always the case in all the modules for this particular course, is to prepare your prompt for the generative AI tool. And this is absolutely crucial that you prepare a prompt, because it is based on the prompt that we are going to create the proposal, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and check out what kind of prompt do we want. So I have divided the prompt into different boxes. The first is about the company. So here you have to mention details about your company. I have mentioned all the details about Excel AI Education Limited. I have mentioned the background of the founders. I have mentioned the different offerings of the company, and I have mentioned the value proposition of the company as well. This is important because, as I said before, you want these details to be included when you are crafting the proposal for your client. The second one is what did you discuss in the meeting? So we should write this. For example, here I have written, I recently had a meeting with the institution named Fountain College. I discussed about our offerings with them, and in particular I discussed the following. And this is where I include all the details which are generally included in my standard proposal, where we have these 5 points which I have listed down before as well. That's why it is important to have a brief idea of what you are going to pitch in mind before you are writing this prompt, or before you even go and meet your client. So this section is where you include what did you discuss in the meeting, and what are the different points which you discussed. Okay, now in the next section we write what are the customizations which your client requested from you. Now this is a key section, because this is where we include all the customizations which the client has said, and you should remember all this. So that's why I said you can write it down on a piece of paper, or if you have a good memory, then that's fine. But ideally, if you incorporate all the suggestions which the client has recommended or you have discussed in the meeting, It will make it seem that you have paid attention to them in the meeting and you really care about this deal to go through. So for example, here I have mentioned all the suggestions which I discussed before, and I said that the client listened to this and had several suggestions. The suggestions were as follows. Okay, so you can include all of these suggestions in this particular you can include all these suggestions in this particular section. And then finally we come to the task. Now before I come to the task, I want to explain something very interesting and important to all of you, which is going to form the crux of how we are going to draft this proposal, and that is the format in which we want the proposal to be created. If you look at Word document, or even in this Miro board that I'm writing, that I'm using right now, you can see that the text appears in a particular way, right? This is the common way. This is a plain text which you usually write in Microsoft Word or Google Docs, etc. Now there is a way of writing which is called as LaTeX. So let me go ahead to Google and type LaTeX. So what is LaTeX? LaTeX is a software system for typesetting documents, and it has a very typical style which makes it look extremely professional. So we are going to take a look at some examples of some LaTeX documents right now, so that you have some idea of how LaTeX documents look like. Okay, so let me actually show you some examples. Okay, so if you see this particular document, which is a very specific document which we have created, you can see that the text in this document doesn't look like your normal text which you use in Google Docs or Microsoft Word or plain text, but it looks somewhat different, right? It has a different feel to it. It has a more professional feel to it. The reason it has a professional feel to it is because it is written in the LaTeX template and by using the LaTeX template. So LaTeX makes your documents look extremely professional. They make it look as if you have spent more time on it, and it makes a lot of difference on the way your documents are perceived by people. That's the reason a lot of research papers are typically formatted in the LaTeX template and using the LaTeX style. I remember when I was in college and my professor introduced me to this, I never switched back. I kept using LaTeX for writing research papers, technical reports, etc. And 4-5 years back, writing in LaTeX was a challenge. But now using AI, it has become extremely easy. You don't need to even know the LaTeX syntax, and we are going to focus on that and take advantage of exactly that when we prepare our business proposal. Okay, so now let's come to the main part of this particular module, which is the task for the AI. What is the task that we are going to give artificial intelligence? Okay, so now what I am saying is, create a very comprehensive proposal based on the above information, explain each offering in detail. For the pricing, make tables. I am deliberately not including the pricing here right now. I'll explain how to take care of that later. And then I say, keep the entries blank for me to fill. Give me the output in LaTeX format. Make sure the design looks professional and uses blue and black color. Make sure the table fits within the page, or we can write here, make sure all tables fit within the page. All tables fit within the page. Also include the details about the company at the end of the proposal. Okay, that's it. This is the entire prompt that I have, and I am going to feed it to a generative AI tool right now. So here we are again going to use ChatGPT. You do not need ChatGPT Plus really for this. You can use normal ChatGPT also, which is the free version. I'm going to show you using the paid version, but I have checked using the free version as well, and you get very similar output and responses. So there is really not much of a difference between the two. So now In the next step, we are going to use generative AI tool, which is ChatGPT, and we are going to exactly see how to make this wonderful proposal. Okay, so let's go to ChatGPT now. I hope all of you have logged in and you are seeing an interface like this. And this is where we have to copy paste the entire prompt that I had shown on the Miro board. So I have written the introduction about the company. I work for this company. What does the company do, and the value proposition of the company as well. And then I mentioned about the recent meeting which I had with the institution, what I discussed with the institute, and what are the different offerings which I have for the college or for the institute. And then later I mentioned about uh, what were the suggestions from the client side. uh, yes, the client listened to it, but what were the suggestions which they had, which I mentioned it over here. And then I mentioned create a very comprehensive proposal based on this above information. And I also go ahead and say for the pricing, make tables, keep the entries blank for me to fill. Give me the output in LaTeX format, make sure the design looks very professional and uses blue and black color. So now what I'll do is I'll show you how this, I'll create this from scratch. Let's go to a new chat, I'll copy paste this. And here I'll also say make sure the design looks okay, make sure the tables fit within the page, and also write about the company details and value proposition towards the end. We can also say that make sure within each section you expand on the information which I have provided. Okay, so now let's click on enter and see what happens. So now you can see that ChatGPT goes ahead and creates something. This might be a bit difficult for you to understand right now because it is appearing in some weird code. It's completely fine. This is written in the LaTeX format, and we don't need to understand this at all. We just need to understand how to change things over here, and how to do uh, how to customize this template after it generates. Okay, so now this is generated. Now what we'll do is we'll go to this software which is called as Overleaf. So just type overleaf.com on Google. So let's check out what Overleaf is. So Overleaf is a LaTeX editor, and Overleaf makes it very easy to write and edit LaTeX documents. And as I said before, you don't need to really understand LaTeX to be able to follow this entire module, but in case any one of you develops a liking towards LaTeX, then Overleaf is the best platform to be using it, because it is really very flexible, and it offers a lot of inbuilt functions which makes it very easy to write LaTeX code. Now let's get back to Overleaf, and all of you will need to create an account first on Overleaf. After you create an account, you will see an option which says create a blank project. So I'm going to do that for you. New project, blank project, and then let's give it a name. Let's say my first professional business proposal, and then I'll say create. As soon as you hit create, you will see that Overleaf generates two different windows. There is one window on the left which says code editor, and there is one window on the right where you see the code being compiled and the PDF being generated. For example, whatever you are writing on the left hand side is being reflected on the text which is shown on the right hand side. So you can see that I have written my first business proposal over here, author as Rajat Dandekar over here, and then the date is also given as December 2024, and the introduction is appearing like this. So basically what happens is that on the left hand side you write the template or the code, and on the right hand side you see the actual text being generated. But as I said before, we don't need to understand the code at all, so I'll just remove this completely, I'll go back to ChatGPT, I will click on copy code and I will paste the entire code over here. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'll click on recompile. So now what happens is that ChatGPT actually goes ahead and creates the entire proposal for you. Why does it appear like this? Because it says placeholder for your logo. So we are going to see how to do that as well. Logo is not really necessary, but let me show you how to add a logo as well. If you want to add a logo, just click on upload over here and select file, and then I have downloaded a logo, whichever logo your company has. If you add a logo, your uh, the the proposal will look extremely professional and it will make a lot of impact on your client. So this is the logo which I add, which is added over here. Now all you have to do is that in this section where it says logo.png, you have to remove it and you have to say whatever name of the file you have uploaded here, with logo final. Again recompile it. Once you recompile, you can see that the logo has nicely appeared over here. If you do not want the logo, you can delete it, which you can do right now like this. I'll just remove this. So the logo gets deleted and I again click on the recompile. So it says comprehensive proposal, Fountain College, Excel Education AI Private Limited, date December 7, 2024. And then you can see the entire proposal being drafted. Let me actually download this in a PDF and I'll show you exactly how this looks. So I download this PDF and I open this PDF right now. Okay, so here you can see it looks so professional. It firstly introduces me to Excel AI Education Private Limited, then what are the different offerings which the company is providing, and then proposed pricing. As you can see here, it has very nicely included institute level pricing as well as the student level pricing, which was one of the customizations which I had requested it for. It has also divided each service into online, offline and hybrid, which is also another service which I had requested for, which is another customization I had requested for. So all the customizations which my client had requested after the meeting was over were included in the proposal which was generated by ChatGPT. And also the format of the proposal looks very professional. If I was a company and I received this proposal from someone, it will be very hard to overlook this, because I'll feel that the people have really taken time to craft this proposal. They have heard what I said and they have included all these things in the proposal very nicely. So conclusion, everything is there. Okay, now let's say you look at this proposal and you say, okay, so I want to add pricing now. How you can add pricing is that just go to the section where it's written proposed pricing. So we'll go down and we'll see proposed pricing written over here, and here is where you will start to make your edits. So let's say here I'll write online is maybe 10,000 or let's say we write $150, or let me actually write in rupees. So let's say I write 15,000 rupees, and offline would be higher, and then hybrid would be somewhere in between 18,000 rupees. And then I again click on the recompile. So now you can see these prices have been written over here, but the price for hybrid is appearing in a very weird way. It's not appearing properly. Let's look at why is that the case. Let's give a space between these things, or what we can do is we can write this inside. So this is 15,000, this is 20,000, and then finally this is 18,000, 20,000, and then finally we have 18,000 towards the end. Now if I go ahead and compile it, you can see that it appears properly within the three sections. This is how you can add the entries for for the pricing. If you want to change any text, you can just change it over here on the left, and it will be reflected on the right side of the LaTeX of the Overleaf interface. And then towards the end, you have to click on recompile and then download as a PDF. So there is a download button over here. So this is the way in which all of us create our business proposals, and we have seen that it has a tremendous impact on the client, and it doesn't take much time of your entire schedule. Once you have the basic prompt ready, all you need to do is that just modify the custom requirements which your client has said, convert that into a LaTeX code using ChatGPT, copy that into Overleaf, and then recompile it, make necessary changes, and then your proposal is ready. So this is what I call a ChatGPT plus an Overleaf way of creating some of the best business proposals which people have ever seen, and it can make a tremendous impact on your client conversion rate. So this is the value artificial intelligence really provides. It makes our job very easy, and then finally some minor tweaks will be required to get the proposal to the best of its shape. Now I encourage all of you to try this method for your particular use case, for your example, and then make customizations based on your interactions with the clients, which might be in completely different fields, but I'm pretty sure the process and the methodology remains exactly the same. I hope you enjoyed this module, and thank you very much. We'll meet again in the next one.